come see if they'll let us in the booth. Let's go check it out. We're going through the lobby. Let's go. Thanks. All right, check this out. This is like mission control for lighting design. This is where the stage manager calls all the cues, and he's got monitors and he's got cue lights. And then over here is the light board and all of the monitors. You can see all the crazy stuff that they do. That's where it all happens every night.
Hey, theater nerds, it's Kimberly, Faye, Greenberg, and we are here in the Vivian Beaumont Theater here at Lincoln Center Theater. It's totally amazing. And we are here with Tony-nominated lighting designer Ben Stanton. We are so excited that you're joining us today. You're going to give us the inside scoop on being a lighting designer. And Junk is currently playing in this theater, so it's so cool because you got to light that show as well. So tell us a little bit about what being a lighting designer entails.
Very little sleep, very long hours. It's an amazing job. You know, I get to travel all over the world. I get to work with the most amazing people, not just the creative people on stage and the directors and the designers, but also amazing crews, people at the top of their field. There's nothing like working on Broadway. There's nothing like coming to work at Lincoln Center every day. Every show is an education. Every show is like a different subject matter. It takes place in the future or in the past, or, you know, this play is about the financial crisis of the 1980s, which is something I was fairly young in the 1980s. So, you know, I learned a ton working on this show. And it's amazing also to be a part of creating the first production of a play. Right. When I was in college, when I was in high school, you know, you get your Samuel French script and you open it up, and in the back there's a picture of the set, or at least there used to be.
Look at all the lights behind us. It looks so pretty.
Yeah. And you know, and I used to dream about, like, wow, like this was the original production of this at Playwrights Horizons or at Lincoln Center or whatever, and now I'm the one making those. I don't know if they still put those things on the back. I stopped.
I think they do.
Yeah.
But you guys would probably be able to tell us if they still put that in the back.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, and I used to read who did what, and it was amazing. So I have to pinch myself all the time.
It's so cool. Now, okay, so we see some of the pretty lights behind us. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the process that went into designing Junk, and a little bit about maybe what we're seeing?
Sure, yeah. So this set is sort of an abstract sculpture. You know, there's a ton of different locations in Junk. You know, we're in offices, parks, bedrooms, restaurants, and we don't really fully articulate any of those locations. It's more of like we have like a single furniture piece or a bed or whatever, and the rest of it's done really with like lighting and video. And so we have these 10 boxes, and each one of these boxes has a screen behind it, and it's called a rear projection screen. And we have a ton of lights behind this structure, and we do all kinds of colors, patterns, and there's video back there. And so we found a way to create these locations with color and direction of light and texture. And part of the reason we did that is because the play moves like it's nuts. Like it moves from location. So there isn't time to bring in like a full living room or a full office. So we had to find a way to do it in a more abstract way. Right. And then you saw, I think, some like lighting on the front of these boxes. So like another way to create architecture in an abstract way is to sort of like light up different boxes depending on where the scene's taking place. Right. So there are a bunch of phone calls in this play, and you know, it was really useful when we had like one person in a box up there talking to someone else in a box down here to be able to sort of like highlight those locations and put light behind them and just sort of create these little abstract phone calls, you know. There's almost no props in this show. There's very little furniture. It's almost all sort of just like light and video.
It's all about you.
It's all about us, yeah.
So for those of us who are watching, if they're interested in getting into lighting design, or how you maybe even got into lighting design might help inspire others, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was something I first got introduced to it in high school. I went to a great public high school in Massachusetts. We had a theater program. I mean, I'm sure like if I went back and looked at those productions now, I would have been like, oh my God. But at the time, it felt like we were doing like really exciting work, and I was interested in the technical theater, and I knew very little about it, but I liked, you know, running a follow spot. I liked running a light board. I was also a musician, so I didn't have like the bug to perform on stage because I already kind of did a lot of performing as a drummer in high school. But I made all my friends in theater, and it became like my sort of like social sphere. Yeah. And so then I went to college to be a drummer. And after like 3 years of doing that, I sort of got restless, and I wanted to kind of explore some different majors. And I went over to the theater major department, and I met a sort of a lighting design professor there, and we talked, and by the end of that semester I had changed majors. And so it was really like my college experience and finding a mentor in the theater that brought me in.
What would you say as far as like skills as far as lighting designer? I mean, obviously you need to know color and how colors interact and sort of how to manipulate an audience, I guess, per se, in how they feel. What are some other
I mean, you have to be a really
qualities?
good observer. Because like light is everywhere, lighting design is everywhere. Every time you go outside on a winter day or on a summer day, or if you're in Times Square, the light is always different and it's always unique. And it's how do you take that idea and bring it to the stage and tell the story that you want to tell. Lighting design can be anything. I mean, lighting design can be a light bulb in the corner. It's a small enough theater, and you can get away with just putting a light bulb in the corner. That's lighting design. It's not. There's a lot of lights in this space. Yeah. This is a big stage. We're telling a complicated story in a ton of locations. But sometimes there's a play that happens in one place, and it doesn't need to be that complicated. And, I think lighting design is a sort of mysterious thing to a lot of people. But the truth is, it's anything. You do it in your house every day. You like this one light that's overhead less than you like your lamp in the corner. Right. That's lighting design. Oh, so how does that make you feel? Why do you like that? Like the lamp more than you like the ceiling light? Right. Like you start to think about those things and how they make you feel, and then you think about, well, how does it make the audience feel when I do this? So it's and everyone has their own take on that. Right. So I try to be as like kind of organic and simple as I can.
And let's see, lastly, do you have any words of inspiration for other future backstage thespians, actors, techies, lighting designers, anybody?
Try to find a mentor. Try to, pursue your passions. I don't think that, if you think you even might be interested in doing something like this, don't be afraid of it just because it's kind of like technical or complicated. You can learn all that stuff, and eventually that stuff goes away, and it's just like painting a picture. It's really fun.